Setting clear boundaries is an art that smart women master with confidence and grace. They understand that boundaries are not about pushing people away, but about defining the space within which healthy relationships can thrive. Without boundaries, people feel entitled to invade your peace, drain your time, and burden you with their emotional baggage. Smart women refuse to live in such chaos. They honor their time, energy, and mental state by making it clear what is acceptable and what is not. And they do this without feeling guilty for protecting themselves. A smart woman knows that guilt is a tool used by others to control those who are afraid to stand up for themselves. She recognizes this manipulation instantly. When she sets a boundary, she does not allow guilt to force her into self-betrayal. She understands that saying no is not rude. It is a declaration of self-respect. She does not over-explain or justify her decisions to people who demand her time without valuing her presence. Her boundaries are rooted in her deep understanding of her own worth. She realizes that people who are offended by her boundaries are often those who benefited from her having none. Therefore, their anger does not shake her resolve. She does not negotiate her peace just to maintain shallow connections. Her relationships are stronger and more authentic because they are built on mutual respect, not silent resentment or forced tolerance. Her presence feels warm because it is real, not because it is endlessly available to everyone at the cost of her soul. Smart women also understand that setting boundaries requires consistency. They do not set them today and abandon them tomorrow to please others. They reinforce them daily through words, behavior, and choices. This consistency trains others to treat them with respect. Even if some people walk away because they cannot handle these boundaries, smart women see it as a blessing. They believe it is better to lose people who feel entitled to overstep than to lose themselves trying to please such people. Moreover, smart women set boundaries with themselves too. They discipline their time, habits, and thoughts. They set limits on overthinking, on tolerating negativity, and on procrastination. They are aware that the boundaries they set internally define the boundaries they enforce externally. Because they live with self-discipline, their external boundaries do not feel like forced walls, but natural extensions of their inner respect and control. They teach people how to treat them through silent firmness. They do not shout or argue to make their boundaries known. They simply act upon them with unbreakable calmness. If someone keeps disrespecting their limits, they do not beg for respect. They remove their presence. Their quiet withdrawal sends a stronger message than any argument could. They believe it is better to walk away in silence than to keep explaining why they deserve basic decency. Smart women also teach their children, friends, and other women in their circle the importance of boundaries by embodying them. Their life becomes an example for others to follow. When people watch them living peacefully, undisturbed by unnecessary drama, they begin to understand the power of self-respect. They inspire other women to let go of guilt and begin prioritizing their dignity. This ripple effect creates stronger, wiser, and more powerful women around them. Finally, smart women know that boundaries are not selfish. They are self-full. By setting boundaries, they create space to love, nurture, and care for others with sincerity because their cup is not constantly being emptied without replenishment. They give with joy because they are giving from a place of abundance, not from obligation. In this way, their boundaries become the foundation of their freedom, strength, and the pure love they radiate to the world. Prioritizing mental and emotional health is not just a choice for smart women. It is a survival strategy in a world that constantly demands their attention, care, and sacrifice. They understand that their mind is the command center of their life, and if it collapses under stress or emotional turmoil, everything else crumbles with it. Therefore, they protect their mental space as fiercely as a lioness protects her cubs. They refuse to let toxic people, negative news, or daily frustrations control their inner world. Smart women make time for stillness and reflection. They are not afraid of silence because they know silence heals. In moments of quiet, they listen to their heart, assess their emotions, and realign with their values. They do not numb their pain with distractions or busyness. They sit with it, understand its message, and then rise stronger. They journal, meditate, pray, and walk in nature to keep their mind fresh, uncluttered, and deeply connected to their true self. They are also aware of their emotional triggers and do the inner work to heal them. They do not blame the world for their reactions. Instead, they ask themselves why certain words or actions hurt them so deeply, and they address these wounds with honesty and compassion. They seek therapy, read books, listen to wise mentors, and invest in their healing without feeling ashamed. For them, emotional health is as essential as physical health. Smart women understand the power of boundaries in protecting their emotional state. They do not entertain gossip, drama, or negativity. They politely exit conversations that drain their energy or pollute their peace. They choose friends and partners who bring emotional stability, not chaos. They distance themselves from people who thrive on complaints, criticism, or conflicts. This is not arrogance, it is self-preservation. They know that emotional hygiene is as important as personal hygiene. They also prioritize rest and sleep without guilt. They know that a tired mind is vulnerable to negative thoughts and emotional breakdowns. They refuse to glorify overwork or sleeplessness as a badge of honor. They understand that real strength lies in knowing when to pause, recharge, and return with renewed energy. Their productivity flows from a rested and calm mind, not from exhaustion and self-neglect. Smart women cultivate gratitude as a mental habit. They train their mind to focus on what is working rather than what is lacking. Even in difficult seasons, they find something to be thankful for, a lesson learned, a small blessing, or simply the strength to endure. This attitude shields them from depression and despair. It does not mean they ignore their problems. It means they refuse to drown in them by recognizing that there is always light, even in darkness. They also protect their mental health by staying away from constant comparison. They understand that social media often shows edited highlights of people's lives, not the full truth. They do not measure their worth by someone else's success, beauty, or lifestyle. They celebrate others genuinely, but remain rooted in their own journey. This inner security keeps them emotionally stable and focused on becoming the best version of themselves rather than becoming someone else. Finally, smart women know that prioritizing mental and emotional health is not selfish. It is a responsibility. When they are mentally strong and emotionally balanced, they become better mothers, wives, daughters, leaders, and friends. Their calmness becomes a safe space for others. Their wisdom becomes guidance for the lost. Their strength becomes a refuge for the weak. By taking care of their own mind and heart, they uplift everyone who crosses their path. Smart women do not seek validation from everyone because they understand the dangerous cost of living for external approval. They know that when you rely on people's praise to feel worthy, their criticism will easily destroy you. Therefore, they build an unshakable sense of self from within. They define who they are, what they stand for, and what they want out of life without waiting for others to approve or applaud. Their confidence is rooted in self-knowledge, not public opinion. They realize that people's validation is often inconsistent and superficial. One day you are celebrated. The next day you are criticized for the same qualities that people once admired. Smart women observe this fickle nature of the world and decide not to let it govern their self-esteem. They do not change their values or personality to fit into what society expects of them today. Instead, they remain authentic, even if that means disappointing those who demand conformity. Because they are not driven by validation, they are free to make decisions aligned with their purpose. They choose careers, relationships, and lifestyles that fulfill them internally rather than merely impressing outsiders. They do not buy things to prove their worth. They do not post on social media to gain likes or praise. Their life is directed by their inner compass, and this makes them fearless in their choices. Even if no one claps for them, they keep moving forward with dignity. Smart women also understand that seeking validation can be addictive. They have seen how some people post every detail of their lives online just to feel seen, only to remain empty when the noise fades. They refuse to fall into this trap. They do not need the world to validate their beauty, intelligence, or kindness. They validate themselves by acknowledging their efforts, appreciating their own progress, and honoring their own journey, even if no one notices it. They choose to live quietly, letting their results speak louder than their words. Their confidence makes them magnetic, because people are naturally drawn to those who are secure in themselves. But they do not rely on this attention for their confidence. They see it as an effect, not a cause. Their validation comes from living truthfully, loving sincerely, working diligently, and serving others humbly. This is why their peace remains unbothered, even when praise is absent. Smart women are also wise enough to seek constructive feedback rather than validation. They know the difference between someone offering them guidance out of love and someone criticizing them to feel superior. They are open to learning from mentors, elders, and those with wisdom. But they are not desperate for approval. This allows them to grow, evolve, and improve without compromising their authenticity to please people who do not even understand their vision. Because they do not seek validation, they remain mentally strong in the face of rejection or dislike. They know not everyone will like them, and they are at peace with that. They do not exhaust themselves trying to change people's perceptions. They focus instead on living with integrity and fulfilling their purpose. If their light blinds some people, they do not dim it. They simply continue shining for those who are inspired by it. Finally, smart women teach others, especially young girls around them, that validation is an inside job. By watching a woman who walks confidently without chasing applause, others learn to do the same. She becomes a role model for silent power, inner security, and dignified confidence. Her life whispers to others, "You are enough as you are. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone. Stand firm in your truth, and the right people will respect you for it." Smart women remain financially independent and wise because they understand that money is not just paper. It is security, freedom, and dignity in this world. They refuse to live at the mercy of anyone's generosity, especially in situations where dependency can become a weapon used against them. Financial independence allows them to make choices based on their own values, not out of fear of losing support. It gives them the power to walk away from environments, people, or relationships that threaten their peace. They do not believe in blindly relying on others for their daily needs, even if they have a supportive spouse or family. They see their ability to earn as a way to strengthen their family, not challenge it. Their mindset is rooted in contribution, not competition. This wisdom creates mutual respect in their relationships because they are not seen as burdens, but as partners who add value and security to the home. Their financial stability makes them a pillar wherever they stand. Smart women also manage their money wisely. They live below their means, no matter how much they earn. They refuse to spend just to impress people. They budget carefully, save consistently, and invest intelligently. They are not easily lured by flashy trends or temporary pleasures that lead to long-term regrets. They think before they spend, asking themselves whether this purchase adds value to their life or is simply an emotional reaction to fleeting desires. They educate themselves about wealth, not just income. They read research and learn about investments, business, property, and savings. They know that working hard alone is not enough. One must also work smart with their money. They do not leave financial decisions entirely to others, regardless of how trusted those people are. They remain involved, aware, and informed, because ignorance about their own finances is a risk they refuse to take. Smart women also maintain emergency funds because they understand that life is unpredictable. Having savings for unexpected situations, health issues, job loss, family crises, makes them calm and confident. They do not panic when storms arrive because they have prepared their ship well in advance. This preparation does not come from fear. It comes from wisdom and foresight, knowing that their strength lies in readiness, not just hope. They avoid debt as much as possible and do not use credit to fund a lifestyle they cannot afford. They know that debt is a silent thief of peace, and carrying it unnecessarily creates anxiety. When they do use debt, it is strategic, for investments that grow their assets, not liabilities that drain them. This financial discipline builds them silently into powerful women who can stand alone if needed, yet remain humble because their security is rooted in wisdom, not arrogance. Smart women also give generously and quietly. They understand that the purpose of wealth is not just personal comfort, but also to ease the burdens of others where possible. They help their parents, support their community, sponsor education, or contribute to causes that uplift humanity. But they do this from a place of stability, not to seek praise. Their giving is wise, ensuring it empowers others rather than creating dependency. Finally, smart women teach financial literacy to their children and other women around them. They break the generational cycle of financial ignorance by sharing what they know. They raise sons who respect financially independent women and daughters who never feel trapped because of lack of money. In this way, their financial independence becomes more than personal success. It becomes a legacy that uplifts generations with wisdom, dignity, and freedom. Smart women keep their private life private because they understand that not everything needs to be shared with the world. They value discretion and protect their peace by choosing what to reveal and what to keep sacred. They know that oversharing invites unnecessary opinions, judgments, and interference from people who do not genuinely care for their well-being. Their silence about their personal matters is not secrecy out of shame, but protection out of wisdom. They realize that in a world addicted to broadcasting every detail of life, privacy becomes power. When people do not know the depth of your relationships, your plans, your struggles, or your dreams, they cannot target them with negativity, envy, or unsolicited advice. Smart women do not let everyone know their next move. They understand that moves made in silence have a greater impact than plans loudly announced and easily sabotaged. Smart women guard their relationships with discretion. They do not post every detail of their marriage, engagement, or family life for validation from strangers. They know that the happiest moments lose their sacredness when they are constantly broadcasted for likes and comments. Their love thrives in privacy because it is nurtured away from the eyes of gossip, comparison, and jealousy. They choose to share only with those who genuinely celebrate their joy, without hidden envy. They also keep their struggles private. It is not because they do not trust anyone, but because they have learned that not everyone who listens cares, and not everyone who cares can help. They share their battles only with those who can guide, pray, or support them with wisdom. By keeping their hardships away from public drama, they protect themselves from being seen as weak or pitied by those who secretly delight in their pain. Smart women understand that privacy creates dignity. They refuse to become spectacles for public consumption. They do not argue publicly, expose family conflicts, or wash their dirty linen before the world. Even when hurt, they handle issues behind closed doors with composure. This discretion earns them respect because people see them as stable, wise, and trustworthy individuals who do not use their personal life as a tool for attention or sympathy. They also keep their financial status private. Whether they are earning greatly or struggling silently, they do not flaunt their wealth nor broadcast their hardships unnecessarily. They know that revealing too much attracts both greed and judgment from people whose intentions are unknown. By keeping silent about their resources, they maintain their security and avoid expectations or manipulations from opportunistic individuals. Smart women extend this privacy to their dreams and plans. They do not announce their goals before they have laid strong foundations. They understand that talking about dreams too early invites unnecessary negativity or doubt from others, weakening their resolve. They choose instead to build quietly and let the results speak loudly. Their achievements become announcements in themselves, and their silent journey commands greater respect when revealed only after completion. Finally, smart women teach others the strength of privacy. They show their daughters, friends, and sisters that life becomes lighter when lived away from public scrutiny. Their silent dignity becomes an inspiration to those who are tired of living for validation. Their private life remains a peaceful sanctuary, untouched by gossip and noise, where they find strength, nurture love, and create wisdom that fuels their quiet yet powerful presence in the world. Smart women choose peace over drama because they understand that peace is priceless, while drama drains the soul. They refuse to waste their energy on petty arguments, unnecessary conflicts, or toxic people who thrive on chaos. Their silent withdrawal from drama is not weakness, it is wisdom. They know that engaging with negativity only disturbs their mind, distracts them from their goals, and steals time that could be invested in growth, healing, and love. They have trained themselves to respond rather than react. They know when to walk away from habits and mindsets that limit them. They assess their own behaviors honestly. If procrastination, overthinking, toxic self-talk, or unproductive routines are holding them back, they choose to let them go. Walking away is not always from people. Sometimes it is from parts of themselves that no longer serve their purpose. This inner honesty gives them the power to transform their life from within. Smart women do not look back with regret when they walk away. They carry gratitude for the lessons learned, but they do not romanticize what broke them. They trust that whatever they let go of was only clearing space for something greater to arrive. Their faith in God's plan and their confidence in their ability to rebuild keep them moving forward with dignity, grace, and silent strength that inspires others. Finally, smart women teach those around them that walking away is a powerful act of self-love. They inspire other women to stop tolerating disrespect or emotional abuse out of fear of judgment. Their life whispers to others, "You are allowed to leave what hurts you. Your dignity is worth protecting. Your peace is worth fighting for. And your life is too precious to waste in places where your soul is dying slowly each day." Smart women know when to walk away for their dignity and peace because they understand that staying where they are disrespected, unloved, or unappreciated only destroys their soul. They value their inner peace more than external approval. When a place, person, or situation threatens their mental health and dignity, they do not cling to it out of fear or desperation. Instead, they choose to walk away quietly, knowing that their self-respect is worth more than temporary comfort. They understand that walking away is not weakness, it is courage. It takes strength to leave what is familiar, especially when your heart is attached to it. But smart women have trained their hearts to let go when their soul is suffering. They refuse to beg for love, friendship, or opportunities that are no longer meant for them. They know that anything that costs their peace is too expensive, no matter how beautiful it may seem from the outside. Smart women do not announce their departure with drama. They leave silently, taking with them the lessons learned and the dignity they arrived with. They do not seek revenge or attempt to prove their worth to those who failed to see it. Their silent exit speaks louder than any words could. It shows that their peace is non-negotiable and that their self-love does not depend on external validation or acceptance. They know when a relationship is damaging their self-esteem, whether it is a romantic relationship, a friendship, or even a family bond. They assess it honestly. If it becomes a source of constant pain, disrespect, or betrayal, they walk away. They do not stay just to avoid being alone, because they are comfortable with their own company. They understand that loneliness with dignity is far better than companionship with humiliation. Smart women also know when to walk away from workplaces or environments that hinder their growth. They refuse to remain trapped in jobs where they are undervalued, underpaid, or mistreated. Even if it means taking a risk to start again, they choose to honor their talents and dreams. They believe that God did not give them gifts to be buried under oppression and misuse. Their silent departure from such places becomes the beginning of a stronger, freer chapter. They know when to walk away from habits and mindsets that limit them. They assess their own behaviors honestly. If procrastination, overthinking, toxic self-talk, or unproductive routines are holding them back, they choose to let them go. Walking away is not always from people. Sometimes it is from parts of themselves that no longer serve their purpose. This inner honesty gives them the power to transform their life from within. Smart women do not look back with regret when they walk away. They carry gratitude for the lessons learned, but they do not romanticize what broke them. They trust that whatever they let go of was only clearing space for something greater to arrive. Their faith in God's plan and their confidence in their ability to rebuild keep them moving forward with dignity, grace, and silent strength that inspires others. Finally, smart women teach those around them that walking away is a powerful act of self-love. They inspire other women to stop tolerating disrespect or emotional abuse out of fear of judgment. Their life whispers to others, "You are allowed to leave what hurts you. Your dignity is worth protecting. Your peace is worth fighting for. And your life is too precious to waste in places where your soul is dying slowly each day."